Well, here we are again at the good old Chesil, Abbotsbury, and just coming along from the car park. I always head towards the Dragon's Teeth, try and get away from the crowds. Pleasantly surprised. I know it's a Thursday evening, midweek session. Car park isn't rammed, thank you God, but I think probably that's because of the high, the considerably more expensive parking fee now that was introduced in the summer last year. Right, we've come up and over the big old bank. There's the Dragon's Teeth just down there, 150 yards away. I'm just about on the limit, I think, of the nesting birds sign that's been here for decades, but I'm not sure how the law applies, because I think the seaward side of the bank is accessible. Not sure on that one, but the main part of the reserve is all down past the Dragon's Teeth, and of course behind this bank are the reeds, but nothing comes down here on the seaward side, nothing but seagulls, as far as I'm concerned. There might be other types of bird and that they get down here, but every time I've been down here I've only ever seen seagulls. So there we go, and right up there, of course, as you'd expect, where the boardwalk goes up and over, it's about over 300, probably nearly 400 yards away, is the rest of the anglers. Got a northwesterly, pleasantly warm and cooling as well, and yeah, I've got to get all this gear set up as per usual, the usual old stuff, usual old kit, all that lot. All that lot down there. Hang on, what's happened with this? That's it, come out. Yeah, all that lot there. That's all got to be set up. Yeah. We'll see you when you're set up. When I'm set up. See you in a bit. And the sea's looking good. Obviously the old bit of fluff chucking as well. Got to be done. Right. We're nearly set up. Nearly. Water. Always having water. Now it's clean rag, and that stays clean actually throughout the session. And that's because I get myself a bucket of water. Lead box. Lead box goes here. Place for everything, and everything in place. Goes over there. Right. So we're going to take these off. I'm not going for a swim because I haven't. It's the middle of summer, and I didn't want to walk over here in my chesties. I decided to stick to shorts, walking boots, nice dry towel, go for a little paddle, get some water, and then the water serves two purposes. Small fish, big fish, you can keep them alive in there if you intend to release them, so they're not gasping around on the beach. Secondly, you can wash your hands in there, which is the reason why my towel smells only a little bit fishy after a session. It's never dirty fishy hands straight onto a dry towel. Right, I'll go and get some water. Just to show you what I'm unpacking for my rucksack. There's biscuits, pasty, the chicken korma in there. That's my utensil. Coming down here, in here we have, there's a little cylinder, complete with his little thermal jacket on, part of my carp gear, goes there, kettle and pan. Then I've got thermal suit in there, it's coming down about 9 degrees tonight. My reels, spare rig wallet in there with other spare traces, and normally my rock gear is in that big rig wallet. So let's get the reels out. What else? Oh yes, couple of reels. That's the burner head, little Nice little compact thing. I've got tea bags, sugar. I've got the actual leggings for these shorts I'm wearing, the zip-on leggings. Down the side pockets. So it's all sort. This is a lovely little rucksack. Got it. It's actually, believe it or not, it's made by Hardy, which is a very distinguished fly fishing company, isn't it? This is my little pouch with all my different types of lining. I've got shock leaders in shock leader in there. So I've got 80 pound in there. Then I've got pre-made leaders ready to tie on if I get snagged. And I've got various breaking strains of amnesia for hook lengths, and a tiny little, my go-to, that yellow box is my go-to rig bits box. And we'll just close that. Down this side here, I've got more stuff. I've got milk in there, little set of digital scales, toilet paper, always needed. Not generally necessarily for the purpose it was intended for, but blowing your nose, especially in the winter time, and that, it just generally stays in there. It's always handy. Wipe your hands on. Again, I can't do the zips one-handed. I'll leave that. Front pouch is brilliant on here because that's my beach rig wallet. There you go, Apollo Angling, and that is an 0932 number, but before the one was inserted. Tells you how old it is. I bought this in 1990 when they were in Addlestone. Lots of change. They've moved around since then quite a bit, but they're still going. Yeah, this is actually a Fox carp box, but if you are an avid sea angler, or certainly into shore fishing, certainly beach fishing, these type of boxes with those different storage compartments and little smaller boxes inside actually really do organise things. And I've been using that now for about the last 4 or 5 years, and that's got everything in it. I can sit down in the evening and make my rigs in my shed, and generally that and that little yellow bits box is all I need for my rig making, because I've got my lines up here, rig body and everything up there, hook lengths, bits box, extra pieces in here. Yeah, there we go. This side I've just got more stuff. I've got forceps and scissors, more cooking gear in here, bottle of Coke, got some soup and that in there, some batteries and that in there. So generally, you know, that's all coming on my back. When I walked here, I had my chair, this thing here, it's a nice little aircraft aluminium, I think it's made of, that straps on top of this rucksack. So I've got the rucksack with that on my back, got my white bucket with quite a bit of stuff in, and then of course the shelter and the rod, standard rods come in the quiver, which is just tucked down there. Everything's inside here. I'm looking a bit of a bomb site at the moment until I start to get things ready. Then I'll have a little tidy up, and then I'm into session then. So I'll see you in a bit. Dear, a bomb site. Bluff chucker. Bluff chucker grenade. Right, well, I'm going to cut the film now. You don't want to see me continually casting in and reeling in, so we'll do that. And then I'll bring you back when we've got some fish. This is something that I do. So I'm just baiting up my first rig. What I do is, if you can see that, I actually put the hook in below the head of the worm on ragworm, so you've got more movement. I don't stick the hook down the chops of the ragworm. I put it in about ½ inch or so behind the head, and then feed the rest of the tail, feed the worm up the hook then of course, and then I'll tip the hook off perhaps with a bit of sand eel or something like that. These are size 1/0s, I think. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So 1/0 cam sands. So this is a two hook clip down, basic. Got the SRT spring at the top, coming down. Loads and loads of silicone tubing on the rig for anti-tangle. Even one down by the lead there, over the swivel on the actual lead clip itself. Yeah, anti-tangle tubing. Yeah, 2 SRT springs. I forgot to tell you that. And of course, this one has got the old breakaway. What do you call it now? Relay swivel with the little weight clip on to take the top one. You see, there's the top worm hooked through about ½ inch to 1 inch behind the head, and then down through the body and out through the tail there. So there's a bit more movement there. You know, as if you were putting maddies on for flounder fishing. You put about 4, 5, 6 on a hook, and they're all sort of tails dangling and heads dangling, and you know, that's the way it is. I better get this in the water and catch you in a bit. Right, change of tactic. I've had a few chucks with the feathers, to no avail. You know, at long range, no avail. I'm going to change over to spin a sand eel on a 3-ounce lead. It's a technique I've used for decades, and down here on the Chesil, it does, if there's the odd mackerel around or gurnard, it'll pick them out off the bottom. I'm going to set that up now. The other rod on the right, that's out on the bottom with the ragworm baits. You can just, phone will focus, keep my hand still. So that's out there. And I'm going to get this sand eel rig set up. Just go over the baits I've got for tonight. High water's about just gone midnight, and I got here at just gone 6:30. So I was on the beach about 6:45, so it's an evening job for me. But definitely it's worth it, because I'm sure there's got to be something around. I would love to get an undulate off of here, but apart from all that, you know, I expect there might be some pouting dogs and straps. There's got to be something out of there as soon as you get started, but we'll give it a go. Here's the bait. Rag, as you saw, mackerel, sand eel, 1 pack of frozen black, a couple of packs of squid. It's only about 4 squid in each pack there. That's all I need for this evening session. So I'm going to change over now and do a bit of sand eel spinning, see if I can get something on that. See you in a bit. So the sand eel rig for spinning. Right, there's your lead. Now the lead is on a little 30-pound link. Okay, that's a 3-ounce lead. Probably about a 11-inch link to a small swivel, which is on the main line. A bead, same swivel again, and then there's your hook length, which goes all the way back to here. And that's a good 5.5 to 6 foot hook length. It makes the sand eel act as if it's swimming normally, because you're a long way from the lead. I think fish do get spooked off leads. It depends on how voracious they are, how hungry they are, but I think the sand eel, well out from the lead, it's a good thing. I'm going to have to move the reel into up position so I can spin with it properly. There we go, let's give it a go. This is the last little pocket I didn't actually show you. This one here has got my bait cotton in, a bit of super glue, lassie tape, or insulation tape. Yeah, so I'm going to set up a second rig, and this is going to be a drop down, not a pulley drop down. This is actually going to be one with the old show you. There we go. Oh, come on, thank you. Right, so I've got my clip at the top, rig clip at the top, because I always put the swivel on the end of my leader, SRT spring, and the drop down clip, up and over clip thing, which releases. And down here, this end of the rig, we have those breakaway movable crimps with a bit of rubber inside, so you can slide them up and down. So if you do have to cut the hook length with a deep hook fish or something, you can't, you don't have to replace the rig. You can readjust the crimps so that they fit the actual length required to go through that up and over clip, and then back down to the clip on the lead, the bait clip on the lead. So yeah, as usual, plenty of silicone on the rig for anti-tangle properties. Right, bait will be, here we go, a bit of mackerel and squid. I'm going to lash that together now. Small bait, as you can see, it's probably, Christ, it's about 3 fingers, maybe 4 fingers in length, 4 fingertips. Probably about a 3 to 4 inch bait, not massive. And the rig, of course, has got pennels, size 1 wire, Camasands. Again, like I explained in the video I did last year, is I've scaled down, and I've had plenty of rays off the beaches now with this rig, and they always generally get hooked on the pennel hook, the second hook. So yeah, so they get hooked on that hook there, and I can catch other species with those small hooks as well. So it's not, you know they've landed double figure ray, and I've even fished pulley pennels with just one hose off a wind spit on the Purbex, again it's caught the ungulates there and hasn't lost the hooks haven't broken or anything like that. But I wouldn't go, I mean, I even had an ungulate on a size 4, but that hook did snap because I had to lift the fish over a rock at the bottom, so I didn't really stand a chance really. And size 4 on a 3 hook flapper, and I had a bloody ungulate. Amazing. Yeah, that particular night, that was May last year, I think I spoke about it. I reckon the bloody the seabed was carpeted with the bloody things. But a lovely fish to catch. I'd like to get one tonight. Anyway, I'll chuck this out now. Right, that one's gone out with a bit of black lug on the top hook, rag on the bottom hook, and you'll see what we will see. Tighten it up a bit. Time for dinner. It is 9:10. So we're just heating up the rice now, and then I'm going to put the rest of that there. I've pulled the, I don't know if you can see that, pulled the flap round to get a bit more. I know it's northwesterly, but oh, it's starting to catching a bit. Right, so I've added the sauce and the chicken in. Yeah, cooking next to the bait. Way, doesn't matter. The rods are out there, and they are fishing away. There we go. And the food, dinner is cooking. Hallelujah. See you in a bit. Got the flap there, just keeping that free top corner. Well, the rods have been motionless and it's still blankety blank, but there we go. Anyway, down here, what we got to do, as soon as that's all blankety blank out there, down here, kettle on, and going to do a bit of washing up, and I think I've nearly, I've got quite a bit of coke to go, but once I get there I should cut just above the label, make a cup, and I hope plastic can take the heat. Feels quite substantial, should do, especially a bit of milk in it, lower the temperature. Yeah, so still very quiet. Still very quiet. You know, it's times like this when yeah, it can be quite hard, but it's summer fishing on the Chesil. It can be quite hard. Well, the kettle's boiling. There we go, turn the old kettle off. Yeah. So, as I was saying, it can be quite hard on the old Chesil, but got to get something tonight. Tell you what, I could see up to about 10 o'clock. Coming up to the longest day, the 22nd, that would be Tuesday next week, supposed to be the longest day. But yeah, still no bites. There we go. And it is now 20 past 10 now in the evening, and I've done some feathering, I've done some spinning, and I've had rag, 2-hook clip down with rag, tipped with sand eel. I've had a rag and black lug that's still out there combo, clip down, and I've now got on the other rod, I've also got a 3-hook flapper with size 4s on, with just bits of mackerel on, about 50-60 yards out. You know, I really am searching, try and get a bite. So there we go. It's one of those things. It's a big sea and a little bait, and that's it. There we go. Right, what's it now? 11:35. It's about 25 minutes to midnight, so to speak. I'm adamant that I should be able to get something on fish bait. I've seen, well, yeah, let's have a look. I'm plugging away with this drop down rig, well, up and over I should call it, not drop down. Yeah, maybe I should just try down here. Try whole sand eel. So, sand eel, pop them on. What I do with a sand eel is I just put the hook in just behind where the head was, down through the back, turn it. Right, so sand eels on there, like so. See that? Then a bit of cotton, good old cotton. Tronics Pro, real fine. This is good stuff. It binds in nice and tight. I like it. Bind that on there. That's enough of that. That's it, basically. Bring that second hook down, like so, and put these panels through. And I learnt this a few years back from Sandman's Tackle, I think, and he said, have the hook one way and then the panel hook going the other way. So that's what we're going to do. That's what I've always done now. Like that. Pull that like that. Like that. Right. So that bait, again, it's only about a 4-inch bait. But, you know, that's a decent enough mouthful for a doggy or a ray. Maybe my baits are too small tonight. But the hooking power is there because you've got the double hook, the power of the 2 hooks. That pedal hook is well positioned into the bait. So right, let's go and hang that on the stand, and we'll see what I don't know if you can see it, if you saw any of that. Actually, I have to check the film before it worked out right. Right, let's put that on the stand. Right. A little bit better. So, got the old 3/8 flapper in, and I'm just literally going to load it up with mackerel strip again. My camera on so I can see what I'm doing, and should be able to see this. Again. And that's what comes on like so. Compress it onto these little size 4s. And that is a nice little mouthful, and I don't even need to bind that at all. A little bit. Next one. Again, just compress it on there. Hope that's all showing in the camera. Like so. Getting it over top of the kettle is probably not the best place. Getting the kettle all stinking. Right, that's rammed on there, compacted onto there. And the last one, 3/8 lovely mackerel. Come on, Mr. Dogfish, where are you? Save a blank, please do something. Give me a couple of little pout and strap, something, please. Do you know what? I think this northwesterly has put the fish offshore. I don't know why. The sea's quite warm now, and there must be plenty of food out there. There is one thing in the water still, and it's nearly the end of June. Well, we've certainly gone past the middle of June. There's still a little bit of May water in there, because I noticed on my leader knot a bit of brown algae. So whether that, because I know you can't get, it's difficult, well, I'd say you can't. It's difficult to get mackerel with May water, but maybe that is that is causing the problem. There's still a little bit of algae out there. Algae bloom. Those extra hot days that we've had. See, clean your hands in the clean seawater. That gets the crap off them, so there's just clean hands. Then you get your clean towel, and all you're doing is drying clean hands, and the towel doesn't get bloody stinking rotten. There we go. Right, let's hang this one on the stand. Yeah, so let's just lift it up a bit. There we go. Turn that a little bit, maybe. How's that? Not so bad. Yeah. Tricky old game. Beach fishing sometimes. I go carp fishing as well. I was on a syndicate up until the start of this month. I was a bailiff on an embryo syndicate over in Egham. But there was a lot of bailiffs on that lake. Of course, as a bailiff, you got a free ticket to fish. I started with embryo in October 18, and I was a bailiff on a couple of other lakes over at Chesil. And then those lakes got closed, and the head bailiff of our team said, "Do you want to come over to Egham?" And so I did. I moved over in January 19. Started doing my rounds, and then COVID hit, and then started doing our rounds again. I think it was it was when the Angling Trust got us out, managed to get us out fishing again, and that was in about May 19, something like that. And yeah, you know, I'd do my rounds, clean the toilets out, did a couple of work parties, and yeah, you know, I like that. The fishing is hard though. So the carp are in the lake. They don't go anywhere unless the rivers flood and they can cross over the bank into a river or something. So they don't generally go anywhere. And yet, you turn up at a lake, you can't go out swimming and snorkeling to see where they are. You're not allowed to go out in the boat to find any spots. You are purely using your skill to try and see any signs on the surface. And if you turn up and you, like me, most of the time I would, if you turn up, or like a lot of people will turn up in the afternoon or early evening and then perhaps do an overnight or 2 nights, they won't see any. In this particular lake, it was very difficult to see a sign. You could do, once you're settled into your swim, then you'd see fish, but you're supposed to kind of look for the fish first. With carp fishing, you're supposed to look for the fish first, try and find them, see if you can find a spot they're regularly visiting or showing at, and then get the nearest swim to try and fish that area. But in all the times that I fished there, I did 5 sessions last year, blanked. I did 5 sessions this year before my bailiff ticket packed up, and I had 1 out this year, and that was way back in March, believe it or not. And that was on a single high attract pineapple pop-up, all on its own, well glugged up. It's been glugged up for about 5 years. Amazing. Yeah, that was just on a chod rig, and it screamed off, and £18 4 mirror. But that's hard to catch, and yet most of the time when you go down the beach, when you go beach fishing, you generally do catch. There's more sessions where you catch. With beach fishing, you generally catch more times, or there's more sessions when you catch than when you blank. That's what I'm trying to say. Blanks are quite rare, but with fishing a gravel pit for carp, blanks can be quite common. If you know, it's quite hard water. I think it was about 8 or 10 acres, and it had about 100 carp in, or so, 120 carp. But if they're not in front of you and you've set up in a swim, and that's it for the next 24 hours, that's where you are, and they don't even come over your baited area, you're just not going to catch them, you know. But I can understand when you're on a beach and you're blank, because it's the whole sea. But yeah, you know, I just check them rod tips. But you know, I like to diversify. I like carp fishing, and beach fishing, rock fishing. I love going down to Purbex, and then when I get a chance to go down to Pembrokeshire, fish on the rocks around there, and that. Yeah, it's great. I love it. And tournament casting, field casting, long casting, whatever you want to call it. I like that. And then and then in subdivisions of casting, I like pendulum. And also I've also started doing a bit of carp casting as well. Yeah. So you know, it's almost as if there's not enough days in the week, or not enough weeks in the year to actually do it all in. But I managed to spread myself over all of the disciplines, so to speak, all of the areas of all those different aspects of fishing, so to speak. I managed to do it, and I managed to catch and have a big success. I cast quite well, but I'm not brilliant, but I managed to get some numbers down on the old score sheet in the tournaments I do. But not a brilliant caster by any means, but not bad, I suppose. But yeah, it's funny. I was down Dorchester last Sunday with the Weymouth Club, and there's a chap there, Ben, from what's his channel called? It's on the tip of my tongue. Bloody hell, what's it called? something fishing, I don't know, but he does all his beach fishing, shore fishing and that. Anyway, he was down. He's a good caster, and he was filming, and so we all got a chance to have a look on the old film we did. It was posted on YouTube and that, and I could see what my pendulum style is. My tournament style, which is more powerful than my fishing style, is still only a very small cast. It's a small cast in the fact that it doesn't take up much area. I don't take a big casting arc. There's no real big swings, and yet it's got some decent distances, my style has, but now I can see now I really need to make the cast a lot larger. Everything needs to get bigger, so to speak. So that's something to work on, I suppose. But yeah, I'm still trying to think of Ben's channel, what his name is, what his channel name is. But he's got, it's nearly there. It's nearly in front of my head. Come on now, come to the front part of my brain. Come on now, come on. Something fishings. Something fishing. God, I'll have to look it up now and tell you in a minute. Go and check his site out. He's got loads of videos. Check his channel. There's loads of videos. Yeah. Don't know. Anyway, but check it out. Yeah. Well, we got no action here anyway. It's getting back to reality. We got no bloody action here. I've got Sandhill out there now at range. Sandhill is actually not out full range. It's at about 80 to 90 yards, that one, instead of about 120, 130. I've tried in close. I've tried bloody close. I tried about 30 yards out on the last chuck, with three hook scratching rig, so to speak, and that no bites, although the bait had been gone. There must be a lot of crab out there. I did actually lose a hook earlier, so that's spider crab. That they just take your hooks, they do. Yeah. Anyway, right, I'll find out the name of that channel. Catch you in a bit. See if we can just turn this off. Right. Yeah, there we go. So turn that down a bit, a little bit. Christ, where's the bloody button? Yeah. Vision Angling. Check it out. It's got a really good channel. Loads of fishing, loads of good tips on there. Rigs, bait. And Ben goes casting as well, so yeah, it's well worth it. Good old channel. In fact, Ben did a session, I think last October, with his dad and someone else, and there's one of those, and his dad had a 5 pound codling, and that was at Cogden. They walked about 400 yards back towards Bexington from Cogden, something like that. It's a fair old walk, because I can remember back in the day, going back to the 80s, we're going to go back to pre-87, when we had that big storm in 87 that swept the shingle over the back track. I used to be able to drive from Bexington along the back track all the way through to Abbotsbury. Anyway, the shingle came over, and it never got cleared again. 4x4s to get through, of course, but yeah. And back then in the 80s at Cogden, you used to be able to drive all the way down to the back of the beach and park behind the beach, and there's all old rough concrete strips, and there must be old sort of Second World War stuff that was there or something, I don't know, but you used to be able to park down there and fish, and then literally just climb straight over from where you parked and fish the beach. And then somewhere in the 1990s, early 1990s, I think that got closed off then, and a car park was built at the top by the road, and then you had to walk down then, So it's quite a long old walk, Cogden is now. You've got to walk all the way down the hill, and then you've got to walk along the back of the beach to where you want to go to, you know. Yeah, it's a fair old trek. There was a spate of break-ins in the early 90s, once anglers had to leave their cars at the top. Of course, the criminal, back then, the criminal would take advantage of that, you know. But I don't know if that still goes on these days or not. It seems to be loads of people park up in that car park now, and yeah, I haven't heard of any problems. But back then, as soon as people had to park up at the top of the hill, they started getting problems. But that was decades ago, so maybe that's all changed. Yeah, I know one thing that's changed. Like I said earlier at the start of the film, parking fee now from the ticket machine in Abbotsbury car park. If I want to do 12 hours, or if I want 12 hours, I think it's £8. If I want to do 24 hours, it's something like £10 or £12. And yeah, it takes pound coins or it takes your card. But I tried when it was installed last year, in the summer last year. I turned up, and normally you used to pay the cafe. You do an overnighter, and then the next morning you just go along when the cafe opened, and you just gave them £3. Well, you know, it was cheap as chips, wasn't it? And so in the winter time, you just turn up, and there'd be no one taking money or anything. Turn up on it and do an evening session, and just get free parking. But last year when it was installed, I tried my card in there and I couldn't get a ticket out of the machine or anything, and my card wasn't debited, so then I put cash in. And funny thing is, a chap tonight went in there and he tried to pay with card because he had no cash, and he couldn't get a ticket or anything. So he took photos of the machine. So if the council come along and try and nick him or try and fine him, well, hopefully he's got enough evidence to prove that that the machine's not taking a card, or it's not working properly or something, you know, not giving tickets out. So yeah, you know, the machine at Ferrybridge, that takes your card and gives a ticket. Well, it was doing about 2 or 3 years ago when that was installed, but yeah, it's quite difficult trying to find a load of pound coins. You'd have thought that the ticket machine would be able to accept different size coins. You see, again, why do I keep going back to the 20th century? When you had electromechanical or analog machines back in the 80s and 90s, you'd go to a town car park and it would accept 10p's, 20p's, 50p's pound coins. So why can't these modern machines now, these digital 21st century machines, accept multi-coins? So I don't understand why they're just stuck with this £1 coin thing, or try and use your card in there, and if it doesn't work, well, take a photo of the fact that you put your card in and nothing's happening. So yeah. Right, well, it's time for slow pack away, and yeah, slow pack away, and getting out of the wind. Pack my rigs away. I take the ragworm home. I got to always keep a bit of seawater. That wind really has picked up actually. Always keep a bit of seawater in the fridge. So I take the ragworm home, and the rest of the fish bait and that and the old frozen stuff will go in the sea. Food for congers, and yeah, definitely coming down here again though. But I think it's I've just had my last cast now, so unless there's anything, I won't be filming this bit. So yeah, I'm just going to wait and see now if there's anything on the last cast, but I'll start packing away now. Time for a pee. Yeah. Fingers crossed, maybe last chance saloon. Who knows? Ciao, ciao. Ciao for a bit anyway. Right, well, you're not going to believe this. So I've just reeled one rod in, and I have got on here there we go. So yeah, amazing, isn't it, eh? Little strap-a-doodah. Save the blank. Thank God for that. So what we'll do, we'll just unhook that. And my little scratching rig that was. Sure. Right in the bony bit of the jaw. What's bloody hell? Where are I? Sorry. There we are. Tiny little strap-a-doodah. It's the only way I can present it to you in here. It's too windy outside now. But yeah, there we go. Right, let's put him back. Session ended up with a little strap conga, as you saw. Both hands are on the wheel, but they are now. And yeah, little strap conga, and that's all. It was hard. It was bloody hard. But there you go. I put in the extra hour at the end to go and fish an hour and a half after high water, and obviously something come on the feed, but nothing else. A good 6.5 hours of fishing there, and 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 10, yeah, 6.5 hours of fishing, and only one little strap conga, but at least I didn't blank. So that's the way it is, isn't it, really? It's the way it can be. Anyway, until next time, change gear. Ciao for now.